Oh, since when did a snowstorm start appearing that badly? Yeah, I don't know. Oh, Greg, but we need to get here fast. Yeah, let's go find shelter. Hey, the cabin. I think we can take shelter here. Thank goodness. There's a freezing to death. I'm afraid you shouldn't be here. Yeah, I really don't have time for visitors. Oh, I'm so sorry, sir. Mr. Oh, wait. You're Lorath, right? Oh, you must be part of the Horadrim guild. Oh, am I right? Maybe you can help us out? Oh, cause we as civilians are having trouble. Oh, with felons and bees swarming all over. I'm afraid you traveled a long way to be disappointed, young camera crew.
Life has taught me well that evil is inevitable and can never be truly destroyed. It can be banished, it can be thwarted, it can be driven back, but only for a time. Men are weak, evil is seductive, and those who would do nothing in the face of malevolence are cowards. You seek a weapon against the darkness rising in Sanctuary. The only thing I can arm you with is knowledge. So when evil finds a foothold and flourishes once again, at least I can say it was not due to ignorance.
When last we spoke to previous companions, I spoke of Anarias and Lilith, and how the Nephilim were created. As I just explained, a Nephilim is a beautiful abomination. They possess the potential to possess the evils of a burning hells, and to defy the dominion of the high heavens. It was because of this, Anarias felt conflicted about the Nephilim's potential. So he used the Worldstone to diminish the Nephilim's power over time, so they would become human. Then, years after the Sin War, a child magically appeared in old Tristram, untouched by crows that feast on corpses, completely unaware of the dangers around Sanctuary. He briefly recalled El Ruin during his lifetime, but there was someone else that would want him. When the dark near Tristram came, so tuned to his demons, they proceeded to kidnap Christopher and offer him to the Archbishop Lazarus, who intended to sacrifice him as a vessel for Diablo. But unfortunately for Lazarus, a random hero stepped forth. He didn't care about the child's safety, only about the treasures and reward that adventurer wants to find, and proceeded to be slain by Lazarus. As a toddler, he already found a coffin that's large enough for him to enter, and proceeded to use it as a hiding spot, a shelter from the dark storms that approach. So Lazarus had no choice but to use owl blood as a sacrifice for Diablo. And Aiden sought to slay Lazarus for what he had done, and rescue his brother from Diablo's grasp.
Abandon your foolish quest. All that awaits you is the wrath of my master. You are too late to save the child. Now you will join him in hell.
As for Lazarus and Diablo, Aiden has slain the Archbishop Lazarus, who serves Diablo, the Lord of Terror. And Aiden sought to take the Soul Stone out of Diablo's forehead. Hopefully that will rescue Albert. Little they know that it was already too late for Albert. sweetheart. Forgive me. The next day had passed, and Chris was still drifting through the coffin along the river, in a land unknown unto all sanctuary. He was found by a guardian angel and the 3 pixies, who were patrolling the gardens and forests that were in the castle. With the aid of a nun, and who was able to help tend to the gardens, all of a sudden they found him. A boy that had to survive in a coffin to save his own skin from Lazarus, with no family to turn to. The angel and the nun agreed to take care of Christopher as their own. And for a time, he was living a happy and peaceful life, away from the conflicts of angels and demons. But little did he know that destiny will arrive to him on the road it takes to avoid it. Then, one day, he was all alone once more, as the animals were frightened by the storm, and that suddenly struck, knocking away to brave the dangers of a storm. He had to find shelter from the bitter cold and storm. But as he did, he found them. It was a friendly witch with no name, and guarded by the two spirits, a phantom and a ghost or scythe. At first glance, he worried that his life would be an end, and should the witch and his demons will finally destroy him. But they did not. They are instead curious about their new visitor amongst the land. There came a question within Christopher's thought unknowingly. How can creatures of evil be so kind to me? And yet they seem like they're evil, but they are not. How does that work? He asked himself. The friendly witch then took Chris to a cauldron and to show him his past. And what was revealed to Chris was that he himself is a long-lost child of an angel and demon, a Nephilim, the real hybrid of angel and demon, formed into a human being. His power was untouched by the world stone, first he still maintains his physical and mental powers of angel and demon. Elsewhere, the witch's apprentice, the hooded figure in a cloak, was arriving at that similar conclusion. On his role as the witch's apprentice, he once said, "You have the strength of an angel and demon. But there are those who seek to destroy that, mainly the monsters from the burning underworld. It is important that you do not fall into the true evil hands." Worried that this might happen, and went to his other friends and his adopted family, he went to search for them. But the same angel and nun that rescued him came, knowing that it was a proper time for Chris to know that he is Nephilim. But in this land, good and evil does not exist. What exists is togetherness and understanding one another. He was upset that his parents had abandoned him. They probably never really cared about his life, other than Lazarus, who sought to sacrifice Chris for Diablo. But another change in him emerged. It is almost like he has changed, from a timid child who has suffered through traumas and has about in past. Now he seeks to stand and fearless, despite with no weapons.
Then help me understand in my power. I want to use my strength and power for the good of others, and stop evil from winning.
They ever heard Christopher's request, and they granted him that. Throughout time, Chris is trained as a warrior and a Nephilim. He has to cast aside his fears and embrace the journey that lies ahead. and knowing that his adopted family would be safe. It was then Chris decided to journey outside the sanctuary and into the unknown worlds he has yet to know. His first land he passed through was the New World, a land where various monsters had gathered through these bioenergies, and that energy drew the attention of a monster known as Zoramagdaros, the volcanic dragon, who was hunted ceaselessly by Nergigante, the dragon that fights others to survive. It is said that once Nergigante was slain, the other elder dragons proceed. These elder dragons, as they are called, possess the power to bring about the disaster to the ecosystems, but that wasn't their true intention. They are living beings after all, and they are wanting to live like normal creatures. But even so, they all need to be slain in order to save the ecosystem. For should elder dragons remain in the environment too long, the ecosystem will be brought into disaster by their own unnatural weathers, such as effluvium, constant tundra, tidal waves, lightning storms, even scorching storms. This had led to Chris to become the slayer of elder dragons, not out of sport, but to preserve the ecosystem of the world. For even in slaying them, he honored those creatures as beings, and this helped strengthen his resolve. But there are a few that desire destruction and dominance. After slaying the dragon of earth known as Sharishvalda, he came to realize that there are dragons that could bend the ecosystem to their will, or perhaps destroy it entirely. Few of those beasts try to use the powers in their way, starting with the Emperor Dragon, the Sapphire Dragon itself, the Adolf Jiva that was meant to be slain, Safi Jiva, the being that bends bioenergy to his will, using it not only as his energy source, but also as a healing factor to his wounds. It is said if Safi Jiva was allowed to roam freely, then the whole world would be doomed, as all the bioenergy would be absorbed into him. So Chris had to slay it alongside his comrades. But in doing so, awakened beings more terrifying than even Safi Jiva itself. The most dominant of these inherited a title of Blood Dragon. They're not only known for their scales, those that are as black as night, but for their destructive power, that can be an end to those around. The first of the Black Dragons was Horadrim, the dragon that now commands all 5 of the elements, including Dragon itself, an elemental calamity for those who dare approach him. There was one dragon foe that dominates all the other dragons, the god of monsters itself, as he is called, the one known as Fatalis, the destroyer of Castle Shrade in one night. The monstrous dragon that few hunters survived, let alone defeated. With the help of his friends, Chris faced that dragon head on, knowing that they must defeat it, or they will die. Against all odds, Chris and his friends had defeated Fatalis, and Chris ultimately received the armor that belonged to him. It is said those who wear Fatalis' armor are doomed to one day become Fatalis itself. But Christopher was far different from the other hunters. It is thanks to Christopher's Nephilim blood, he remains immune to Fatalis' psychological effects that would try to harm him. After all, he is still blessed with a potential to resist the evils of the burning hells and to defy the dominion of the high heavens. During his own lifetime, he has found some interesting facts of Siriana, that everyone has their hopes and dreams that live for despite their age. They never afraid to be themselves. And curiously, he also found a group who there is no they might have joined. The Boss of the Nightmares, said to contain heroes, villains, and anti-heroes those together. But they are not fighting over petty grievances. They fought in a common cause. One of which is defeating Xenojiva, who sought to drain the bioenergy in order to become Safi Jiva. He is fully aware as a hunter of the New World, the life of hunting is full of various challenges. No challenge the same as before. As he became aware that life is full of different challenges, different goals in life. For Chris, hunting was his life. He enjoyed the feel of life as he enjoyed hunting, but always keep the balance of nature above all else, and answer the monster's challenge. At first glance, they saw Chris as a newcomer, one who was curious about this new group called the Boss of the Nightmares. He felt a similar feeling that he did years ago, but this one is more peaceful, more tranquil, where heroes and villains alike live together in harmony and fighting for a shared purpose. Chris has felt a peace of mind from that time. And thus, the leader of the Boss of the Nightmares, Justice Popescu, welcomed Chris as part of the group. To Justice, he became known as a brother in arms. Even if some of us see the two differently, Justice and Chris were brothers in arms. Even though they do not have the same blood, they became brothers. To be more precise, brothers in arms. This was the first time Christopher was welcomed by anyone that he calls friend. He felt in his heart that that Justice was needing Christopher's help more than anything. Following his time in Syriana, where he continued his journey and job as the hunter of the New World, he has discovered the scroll that tells about the end of days, but not in the New World nor any other place, but for whom he was familiar. Sanctuary. Deckard Cain wrote, "At the end of days, the first sign shall appear in the heavens. Justice shall fall upon the world of men, and the armies of light and shadow will clash across the fields of eternity." He felt that fear in his mind, but it did little to deter him. He knew that his home was in peril, and that he has to come back to stop it. Unfortunately for Chris, it was too late to save Cain, but it wasn't too late to save Sanctuary from the evils that is to come.
After Cain's death, the adventurers Lear and Tyrael tracked Magda to Chaldeum, where, unbeknownst to them, Belial was impersonating the ruler of the region. Their pursuits ended in the dry deserts of Kyrgyzstan, where they confronted Magda and struck her down, avenging Cain's death. The heroes found another ally in Adria, Lear's mother, who wanted to help her daughter contain the growing darkness. She helped them uncover the location of the Black Soul Stone, an extraordinary artifact created by the renegade Horadrim Zoltan Kul. which could trap multiple essences of both angel and demon, then permanently destroy them. Black Soulstone in hand, they confronted Belial and revealed his great deception. Defeating him, they sealed him inside this Soulstone prison. But, as we have seen time and time again, evil is never idle. Azmodan, the Lord of Sin, had undertaken an audacious invasion of Sanctuary, seeking the Black Soulstone for himself. All the great evils save he and Diablo had been trapped in the Soulstone, giving Azmodan an opportunity to become the prime evil. His vast demonic army erupted from Ariat Crater, the scar left behind by the World Stone's destruction. The party hurried to aid the forces of Bastion's Keep, the only defense against Azmodan's forces. Though the fortress had been battered, the adventurers fought through legions of demons and overcame the Lord of Sin at the heart of the crater, sealing him in the Black Soulstone as well. It seemed as though the tide was turning in humanity's favor. But Adria had other plans. She had lied about the Black Soulstone, having used it to mark the souls of all 7 great evils for containment, while leaving Diablo unbound. The witch then offered Leah, her own daughter, as a vessel for Diablo's return, an act she had planned since her child's conception. When Aidan sought solace with her in Tristram, Adria had already pledged herself to the Lord of Terror's service. Under the guise of her care, she used the prince's torment to her advantage, allowing Diablo to deepen his hold on the prince. When he left as the Dark Wanderer, so too did Adria. Soon after, she bore his child, Leah, whom she left in Chaldeum under a friend's care. Children should not be punished for their parents' sins, no matter how grave they may be. From the moment of her birth, Leah's fate was tied inextricably to Diablo, his essence part of her creation. With Adria's betrayal revealed, Diablo seized control of the Black Soulstone, using it to channel the essences of all the Lords of Hell into himself. Brimming with power, he twisted Leah's body into a new horrific form, the Prime Evil. With his newfound strength, he set his eyes on a prize far greater than our world, the utter destruction of the High Heavens. With his unheralded power, the Lord of Terror breached the diamond gates of the High Heavens. He single-handedly routed Imperius, leader of the Angiras Council, with barely a thought. The Prime Evil opened hell rifts inside the Silver City, unleashing the minions of the Burning Hells, leaving him to continue towards the Crystal Arch. As demons ravaged the Silver City, the heroes came to Heaven's aid. They fought their way through hordes of demonkind, aiding the heavens where they could, and soon arrived atop the Silver Spire to battle Diablo himself. Against all odds, the Prime Evil was defeated, his essence trapped in the Black Soulstone. Tyrael returned to the Angiras Council as a mortal, now embodying the aspect of wisdom. And for a moment, it seemed like Sanctuary might see peace. But, as you know well, peace does not last. All was not well with the High Heavens. Decades before Diablo's assault on the High Heavens, Malthael had abandoned the Council, the Heavens, and his position as the aspect of wisdom. The ravages of the eternal conflict must have taken their toll on Malthael's mind. I often wonder what he saw had convinced him to forsake wisdom for death. Malthael had long desired an end to the eternal conflict, and finally saw his chance with Diablo's defeat. With the 7 great evils gone, he turned his attention to humanity. But Malthael was not interested in winning our hearts and minds. His solution was far simpler, far colder. To Malthael, humanity would never be more than demon spawn, and for the eternal conflict to reach its conclusion, all demonkind needed to be eradicated. But to achieve his ultimate goal, Malthael had to retrieve the Black Soulstone, which was now in the hands of what remained of the Horadrim. I likely owe my life to Eldarin. In that first confrontation with Malthael, in the black tunnels of the tomb of Rakus, I faced death himself. as my brethren fell and died, I was protected behind a magical shield that Zirkel raised using his sword. When we emerged onto the city streets, we were met with horror beyond comprehension. Prize in hand, Malthael and his reapers laid waste to Westmarch. The grisly slaughter I witnessed there nearly destroyed me. They were harvesting the souls of the people. With each death, Malthael grew more powerful. Malthael soon took the Black Soulstone to the Pandemonium Fortress, where he began to manipulate its power. Struggling to find where he had gone, the adventurers turned to the only person on Sanctuary who might know Malthael's location, the traitor Adria. The witch, however, did not wish to cooperate, and transformed into a terrifying monster empowered by blood magic. Delivering final justice against Adria's betrayal, they struck down the abomination and set out for the Pandemonium Fortress to confront Malthael. By the time they arrived, it was too late. Malthael had already sent the Black Soulstone to Sanctuary, and it was fulfilling its dark purpose, tearing the demonic essence out of every single person. Freeing the spirits of their own kin and leaders, the heroes became one with death, and were finally able to fight against Malthael on even ground. A great battle ensued, and in a last-ditch effort to secure victory, Malthael shattered the Black Soulstone to take on the power of the great evil still trapped inside. The heroes valiantly rallied in defense of Sanctuary, the power of the spirits within allowing them to defeat death itself. The aftermath of Malthael's use of the Black Soulstone saw Tyrael gone from Sanctuary and countless dead. What happened to Diablo remains a mystery that haunts me. I chose solitude and ale over futile efforts to bring light back into our world. But there are times, such as this, where I feel hope struggling to take root once more. But to hope for salvation while doing nothing to attain it brings only ruin. I have learned this many times over. Judge a person by their actions, not their words.
The second time he returned to Celiana, he found a woman that has been beaten to the pulp by an elder Suizes. She was in the name of Ryoka Martori, who was struck down by Shadow the Hedgehog during a battle to their demise. It was because of that battle, Ryoka and Senkets landed in elder Suizes, with the two of them barely unconscious and barely any blood to sustain Senkets. Christopher had to rescue her and Senkets. It's from a devious savage devil Joe, whose insatiable appetite drew to an attempt to devouring Ryoko. They also welcome another woman amongst the family, a cheerful, yet kind, warrioress known as Makama Kanchok. The trio we traveled together as one family, from one land to another, while Celiana and the New World can rest peacefully. The journey began in a land unknown, where death does not exist and yet coexist at the same time. They are classified as tarnished, warriors who are dead but still alive, somehow. As again, death exists and coexists simultaneously. After defeating the demigods, the Shard Bearers and Wadagon and the Elder Beast, the family claimed the Elden Ring as their own, not to rule, but to bring salvation, and thus the age of true heroes those came to be. But then within the Land of Shadow, there was another demigod, was tangling with the threads of fate, Mikola himself. His primary goal was to make Radahn the promised consort he was meant to be, merging the body of Radahn with the soul of the Lord of Blood, Moog. A demigod and a blood-obsessed omen became one, powered by both gravity and blood. His near defeat while he's fighting to his fullest allows Mikola to step out of a divine gate. A towering statue You made away with the corpses of his foes. With his power, he banished Morg's soul, and Madon has returned to his normal self. But now, as a promised consort, he is meant to be. Madon and Mikola endured their vow to the bitter end, and trying to make the world a more gentle place. But it was not to be. His idea was through manipulation. But had he succeeded, perhaps the lands between might have been more of a paradise. Against all odds, they conquered the two gods, known as their divine gate. And they have the power of the promised consort himself. For the MC family promised to make the world a gentler place their own way. Not through power by force, but through tranquility. He and they will fight if they must. But they always do. They need to fight anyway to survive and attain such peace. The aftermath of Mikola's defeat, along with Adon, meeting more friends and their foes alike. It was over time they have became the MC family that they are today. Not only wanting to live a peaceful life, but to also fight against all odds, no matter what. It was times such as that I feel hope struggling to take root once more.
I can no longer fight with steel and blood, but perhaps the knowledge I've shared will act as an armor in your own battle with the coming darkness.
Take care, young camera crew.
Wherever your path may lead you. I hope for your sake, it leads down a different path than mine.